pastor of City Harvest Church, Kong Hee, told the court today that all throughout the crossover project, he was adamant that whatever happened, the church must not suffer loss. Kong, founder and senior pastor of City Harvest Church, took the stand for the first time yesterday. Answering questions from his lawyer Edwin Tong, Kong told the court the story of CHC's beginnings, how the crossover project began, and how it went from being an Asian regional effort to an international one with Sun Ho's entry into the US music market. Kong told the court that his mindset at that time was that whatever was done in the US had to benefit the crossover work in Asia. The goal had to remain that the Great Commission was fulfilled through the venture. It was with this mindset that the step was taken to record 2 English singles. Both singles topped the US Billboard Hot Dance charts in 2003 and 2004. Kong said that if Ho was able to enter the US market, the entire crossover project would be taken from a regional level to a global level. As the US is the epicenter of pop culture, every continent will be open to Ho and by extension to the missions of City Harvest Church. The court saw how the success of Ho's singles prompted her US manager Justin Hertz to put forth to Kong the potential for Ho to release an English pop album in the US. Kong told the court that Hertz was not satisfied with the first cut of the album in 2006 and invited music producer Wyclef Jean to polish up the album. Jean decided to package Ho as an Asian reggae star and convinced the team that the album had to be re-recorded. Ho was not comfortable with the direction and Kong was not comfortable with Jean's rising costs, so the agreement was terminated and Ho came under the management of Johnny Wright, whose clients include Justin Timberlake. The court saw many emails and spreadsheets between Hertz and Kong and co-defendant Serena Wee, which showed how deliberate and careful Kong had been over details of a budget projection for the US album that was conservative in costs and sales. Kong described his role in the US crossover effort as negotiator and liaison. When asked who was tasked with looking for funding, Kong named co-accused Chew Eng Han, who was assisted by Tan Yi Ping. Kong told the court today that he could have done better, been even more diligent and vigilant, and brought in more professionals into the picture when he was looking at the budget projections for the US crossover album. The court was taken through emails where Hertz compared budgets for singers like Gwen Stefani and Kelly Clarkson, who were already well established in the entertainment circle. Kong asked Hertz for more conservative comparisons with debut artists instead, given that although Ho had success in Asia, her success in US was limited at that point. Kong said more than once in court today that he was concerned that the proposed expenses and potential revenue of the US album were conservative projections that were realistic and absolutely doable. He said it was because he was mindful that the church had invested building fund monies into Extron Productions, who was funding the crossover project. Kong wanted to make sure that CHC was able to get back the principal investment with interest. In his opening statement yesterday, Tong highlighted 4 points in his defense of Kong. Firstly, the crossover project was a legitimate church purpose. Secondly, there was no wrongful gain by any individual. Thirdly, the church suffered no financial loss. All monies invested in Extron and Ferner bonds were redeemed with interest by 2009 before investigations started. Lastly, despite the prosecution's allegation of loss, neither the church nor the members have complained. Tong said that there is no complainant at all and it is not even clear what, if any, the first information report is. Tong also made note of the prosecution's allegation of non-disclosure by the defendants. He emphasized that non-disclosure is not an offense in itself and that the court should consider whether dishonest intention had been made beyond a reasonable doubt. From as early as 2001, the purpose and the method of the crossover project had been made known to the attendees of CHC. Kong told the court today that the term crossover project had not been coined at that time, but they had talked about Sun Ho going to sing pop songs, entering the world of MTV with a message of faith, hope and love. In preparation for her promotion tour, the weekend congregation also prayed for Sun as she embarked on a tour that took her all over Taiwan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore and Sweden from April to July 2002. Tong showed the court a transcript of Ho's acceptance speech in the 2003 Hit Awards, which was broadcast on national television, where Ho thanked her colleagues in Extron Productions. This, in addition to the details of Extron printed at the back of Sun's CD albums, showed it was common knowledge that Extron was managing Ho at that time. Kong also added that the crossover was a catalyst for the mission work of the church. In 1995, there were no CHC affiliate churches. By 2002, there were 13 affiliate churches. By 2009, CHC had 47 affiliate churches in Southeast Asia and 30 associate churches in China. Prior to 2003, Kong had shared freely about the crossover project and its progress with the members at large and with executive members during AGMs. In 2003, the Roland Poon incident happened. Allegations were made against Kong that the church was funding Ho's music career. Although the allegations were later retracted and a public apology was published, there was unrest and confusion among CHC members. Kong told the court that on hindsight, this incident was a wake-up call that made him realize that whatever was shared in the church would go out to the public very quickly. And once it's public information, it's very difficult to manage public opinion, which would then affect our members and distract us from our mission to preach the gospel. The court also heard that to Kong, Auditor Fung Dao-ching was a dear friend and mentor in financial matters. A detailed and ultra-conservative accountant, Kong revealed that Fung did not just look into CHC's book to ensure all transactions were above board. Fung was Kong's personal tax consultant and had done a special audit of the accounts between CHC and Kong, as well as between CHC and Ho. Fung also guided Kong on how to manage the accounts of his salary, honorarium, love gifts, and royalties. To Kong, Fung's statement of being lead partner in a video statement made to the executive members in 2003 were consistent with his perception that Fung was the man in charge. Kong said Fung always made himself available to advise the CHC team in both big and small matters. As late as 2008, the CHC team was still seeking Fung's advice on fundraising matters. Kong told the court that unless Fung okays the project, he would be very hesitant to proceed, as Kong wanted CHC accounts to be able to withstand the strongest scrutiny by any watchdog body or authority. Likewise, with regard to legal matters and corporate governance, Kong and his team looked to senior counsel Jimmy Yim from Drew and Napier. Yim was thought to have the necessary legal expertise to scrutinize processes and contracts for projects in the church's pipeline. He was also depended on to inject rigidity and structure into the church's processes. Drew and Napier was engaged by CHC from 2003 to 2010. Kong Hee continues on the stand tomorrow. For more information, log on to citynews.sg. I'm Andrea Lim for City News, Singapore.